In Uganda, like in many countries, many farmers raise a small number of pigs. While some farmers breed pigs and sell piglets, others sell pigs for slaughter, especially for urban markets. Some pigs are tethered during the day and then released at night to scavenge. When pigs are scavenging, they'll find their own feed, but they're unlikely to eat enough to grow well. Roaming pigs are also more susceptible to disease and parasites, and when young can get attacked by dogs or wild animals. Let's listen to Zirob explaining why he keeps his pigs inside.
mu nnyumba oba mu kiyumba kyazo olw'obuzibu bwe twali tulabye ku mbizi ezirundibwa nga zitaaya butaaya.
We started taking care of pigs in their sties because of problems with the pigs that were free roaming. You wouldn't know where they'd gone and what they'd eaten and whether they'd contracted any disease. This brought us many problems.
Zibeera zitaaya butaaya ziyinza okubeera ng'embizi z'omu nsiko.
So if you want to raise pigs as a business, it's better for them to be housed all the time.
Okubeera ng'embizi yo ogirundira mu kiyumba kikuyamba okubeera ng'omanya embizi yange eridde ki.
We decided to build sties so that we will be able to monitor what and how much the pigs have eaten. We can keep control of that, and it also helps us to decide at what price to sell the pigs later on.
Kakati nina gitunda ssente mmeka okufunamu amagoba.
Keeping pigs in a building also prevents your own or your neighbour's crops from being destroyed. It allows you to easily give them water and feed, to monitor their growth, to collect their waste, and help prevent diseases.
You know, raising pigs in the house, if you're to compare, really, it's actually the best way of keeping pigs, because if they are raised in the house, you realize, one, they don't get sicknesses. In most cases, there's no sickness, like the swine fever. And then two, you also realize that they are very clean. You know, when you rear pigs outside, you cannot really collect the manure as such, because you realize they're shocked. Water is shocked with their feces, and you cannot begin collecting the manure.
Even though pigs like wallowing in mud or water, pigs are essentially clean animals. They'll never urinate and dung where they eat or sleep. Keeping pigs in a poorly managed building causes a bad smell, and your neighbours will not like you. Keeping your pigs in a good building that is kept clean will minimise the smell. Keeping pigs indoors also allows you to collect and use the manure to make compost for your crops.
Because I realize it is easier to look after. And when you take a look at the number of pigs I have, and then the space I have is actually very small. And in that small space, I'm able to rear as many pigs as I can. And then it is much more easier to look after pigs because in terms of feeding, the feeding cost is a little bit cheaper because we made local feeds. And also via the manure from the pigs, when you look around, look at what is behind me here. This is all out of the manure.
If you have improved pig breeds, keeping them in a roof building means they have shade, so they do not get burnt by the sun.
We know what pigs are all like. They are animals that do not really, they cannot withstand a lot of heat. So keeping them internally within, especially with the type of housing that I have, helps to maintain the temperature of the pig. They feel really at home, they are not disturbed, no stress heat stress and so on.
Now we've seen and heard the benefits of keeping pigs in a building. Let's look at some different types of pig houses. When you build your pig house, try to make sure it receives sun only in the morning and late afternoon, so the building does not get too hot. The long part of the building should be at a right angle to the path of the sun. Part of the building should be exposed to sunshine, or allow the pigs access to an outside area so they can lie in the sun if they want to. The pen may be divided into two sections: a covered area where the pigs will sleep and are fed, and an outside area where you place the water trough. This area is where the pigs will naturally dung and urinate. Pigs cannot pant like dogs to cool down, or sweat like people. In fact, they can only sweat from the end of their nose. So pigs will naturally lie in mud or water, or lie in the shade to cool down. If you can, provide an area with water for the pigs to wallow in. This will help to keep the pigs cool, and as a result, they will grow faster, as they are less stressed. If pigs get too hot, they can become ill and even die. Pig buildings can be a wooden construction with 4 or more supports to raise it off the ground. The floor is slatted. The gap between the slats should be no more than 2 centimeters, about the width of a finger. This type of building allows the urine and droppings to fall to the ground for easy collection. Most buildings, though, are at ground level. Some will have a concrete floor for easy cleaning. The floor should slope slightly away from the sleeping area in the pen, so that the urine and any waste water can easily collect into a drainage channel.
You see, when there are cracked floors, it becomes very hard to maintain in terms of cleaning it, So there are some patches which are normally shocked, and then they can easily break in their legs, and leave alone that, they can also sustain some bruises on their bodies, and then they can also develop worms. Worms can develop there. So when they develop it, they end up eating it, and when they eat it, it becomes a problem to them.
If you use a cement floor, it must be good quality, so that it's strong enough or the pigs will dig into it and damage it.
Also at the same time, when they look for nutrients, they also keep on, knocking it. So in the end, they really crush it completely.
Instead of concrete, you can use a deep litter system on a compacted earth floor. The litter can be a mixture of organic materials like sawdust, wood shavings, coffee husks, or rice husks. This type of floor allows the pigs to dig around as they would do in the wild, which satisfies the pig's natural instinct. As a result, they're less likely to fight or bite each other. Some farmers inoculate the litter with microorganisms, which they buy from their local agri-vet shop or produce themselves.
It is a live thing, indigenous microorganisms. First of all, it is mixed with water for 2 days, and then they are sprinkled on the sawdust.
If you're keeping pigs on a deep litter floor, this can reduce the workload, as the floor does not need to be washed. For a deep litter floor, you normally clear out the litter only when the pigs are finally being moved out of the pen. Different materials can be used to construct the walls of the pens. You can use bricks and cement joints, timber offcuts, or treated poles. Whatever they're made of, they should be solid and over 1 meter high, to prevent the pigs escaping. A wall constructed of wood will usually have some gaps that will allow air in and help to keep the pigs cool. A wall constructed of concrete or bricks helps to keep the pen warm, and it's good for small piglets. The area between the wall and the roof should be open so that the pigsty is well ventilated. The gap should be at least 1 metre high. Hang a no entry sign on the gate to keep out people who are not looking after the pigs, as people can bring diseases. Whether you have a raised piggery or a building on the ground, use iron sheets or thatching grass to make the roof. Remember though, that a building with an iron sheet roof can get hot. Shade from trees can help keep the building cool. If the piggery has a single row of pens, the roof is usually angled. If the piggery has 2 rows of pens with a passage between, the construction of the top of the roof is important. Leave a gap for warm air to escape, or the building will become too humid, which is not good for the pigs. The size of a pen obviously depends on the number, type and age of the animals kept. Overcrowding will stress the animals. They'll not grow as well, and they'll be more susceptible to disease. Keep a sow separate with her piglets. Also keep adult male pigs alone, as otherwise they may fight other adult males. So remember, when taking care of pigs, it's important to keep your pigs in a well-built, well-maintained and well-managed building so they keep healthy. Provide enough space for the pigs. Ensure the building is well ventilated and the pigs do not get too hot. Practice good hygiene to keep diseases away. Building good housing for your pigs and maintaining it well can help you keep your pigs in the best condition so you can raise healthy, happy pigs and increase your income.